Kardom, and welcome back to Northeast Karbi Live, the mirror of society. This is Serma Interangpi reporting. So right now, I'm in front of the Matipung Arboretum Cum Craft Center Conference Hall, and it's a very big day as today is the national seminar on completion of 75 years of 6th schedule. So ladies and gentlemen, in today's national seminar, the chief guest is none other than Mr. Sonam Wangchuk. To tell you about more, he is a climate activist, and also he was the inspiration behind the character of the Amir Khan's movie Three Idiots called Phungsuk Wangru. And also in this today's national seminar, it is being organized by the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council in association with Center for Karbi Studies, Difu Assam, and the Political Science Department of the Assam University Difu campus. So ladies and gentlemen, let's delve deep into the completion of this 75 years of 6th schedule, and let's know about this the importance of why this national seminar is important, like after the completion of like 75 years and still going on, and also what are the benefits for the citizen of this seminar. So let's go.
And many others, as well as the contributions of various organizations like Karbi Agarbor, who gave their...
So I want to thank the Autonomous Council of Karbi Anglong, the Center for Karbi Studies, and the Assam University for wisdom and expertise and experience in one place around this beautiful concept called the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. I want to thank you all, and I want to also introduce my team that we have come from Ladakh to learn from your experiences here so that they can connect to you later during the day and tomorrow. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Sri Tsering Dorje ji, if you can stand up. Sri Tsering Dorje ji is the current co-chairperson of the apex body of Leh, which is heading the movement in Leh for the 4-point agendas, which includes 6th schedule for Ladakh as a very important point. And then he was also the chairman of a autonomous council that we have in Ladakh, the Leh Autonomous Hill Development Council, and he was also a cabinet minister in the Jammu and Kashmir government. So it would be very good for him and you all to interact later. I also have with me Jigmet Paljorle. He's a youth leader from Ladakh, and he's the coordinator for the apex body, has been leading various student organizations. And we have with us Mustafa Haji Saab. He's a lawyer and advisor for the apex body of Ladakh and comes from Kargil, therefore brings the experience of Kargil region of Ladakh, which has another autonomous hill council, hill development council we call it. It's not under 6th schedule. So just to introduce our team from Ladakh for you all. Well, thank you once again for all the warmth and welcome and love and affection that you have all showered upon us. And we look forward to have more interactions between Northeast and the region of Ladakh. I will today share with you a little bit about my understanding and my take on the relevance of provisions like 6th schedule in our constitution to the 21st century. For those of you who have this provision already, its refreshed relevance to the 21st century. And for those of us who are into peaceful movements to attain this kind of safeguards, our experience on relevance of ancient or not so new approaches towards people's movements that were shown by father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, that we have been adopting in Ladakh. So I'll share a few experiences about that. But as for sixth schedule itself, I have always looked at it as the generosity of the Republic of India and its constitution in not just accepting or tolerating unity in diversity, anekta mein ekta as we call it, but actually actively encouraging and strengthening such diversities. So to adopt these provisions in the new India that emerged were a great example for the whole world that India cares and strengthens its ethnicities in different parts of the nation, and therefore helps them not only survive but thrive. So I feel very few countries in the world have such progressive constitutions, barring few like Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Not many countries have such enlightened provisions in their constitutions. In fact, many countries want to end such diversity and trample on such, ethnicities and their ancient cultures and the diversity that they bring. Our own neighbors, Pakistan, had federally administered tribal areas, FATA they are called, but they come under the Frontier Crimes Regulation legal framework. So it's seen as crime regulation rather than something to thrive and flower in the diversity of the nation. Our neighbors again, Bangladesh, has something better, but I think very much taken from the example that India set, though late, after a lot of disputes and discords, the Chittagong Hill Tract got their CTA or Chittagong Hill Tract Accord in 1997, which are almost identical to what the sixth schedule autonomous councils have. They have a concept of autonomous councils and the protection it will give to their land, forests and rights of the indigenous people. So although lots of disputes still remain there because not much of the accord has been fulfilled, but India stands out as a lighthouse that way for its diverse ethnicities with its sixth schedule provision. Now its relevance to the world. I, as an environmentalist, got connected with the movement for demand of sixth schedule in Ladakh, not as much from the political perspective, which is what it is in a big way, to give rights to the indigenous people, or even cultural perspective, which is to keep the diversity in traditional customs and ways of life, which are all very beautiful. But more than that, I have connected to it as a great solution for ecologically sensitive zones of India, the Himalayas, and perhaps the world. I have always thought and said, you can look up my social media posts as we did our Padyatra recently. All along the way I was talking about how such provisions of our constitution that helps the indigenous tribal communities to make decisions about their own region, about their own affairs, is the only way you can protect the fragile ecologies in these very sensitive zones like Hindu Kush, Himalayas and Northeast. These are very fragile ecologies, and such provisions that strengthens the local people, local indigenous people in this case, can be a great help in maintaining these ecologies. Now, I was thinking as I was walking and making these posts about its importance so that people all over the nation and the world can understand the importance of such a provision that helps the indigenous people living in the Himalayas, and they in turn help protect the ecology that feeds the whole nation. Our water depends on Hindu Kush Himalayas. 2 billion people of the world, most of them in the northern part of India and southern China and Tibet, depend on these mountains and its glaciers and its fragile ecology for their water. That is 1/4 of the population of the world. And to keep it, the best stewards will be the local indigenous peoples who have kept it alive for thousands of years and who are so invested, as they'll be here for many centuries or millennia. So they have a direct stake in keeping the region thriving as compared to people who cannot connect to the local ecology here, who are sent on assignments of 2 to 3 years, like bureaucrats who come and manage, for example, Ladakh's affairs right now. There are no democratic fora in Ladakh, no assembly, councils, yes, but we have no lawmaking powers because it's not in 6th schedule. So therefore, it's all run by bureaucrats on 2 to 3 years assignments. With all goodwill for them, it's very difficult for them because best of them will make mistakes in a place that they don't understand, in a culture that they don't understand, and in such a sensitive ecozone, they'll make mistakes. And worst of them may enter into deals that the local people will suffer the consequences for many generations. Similarly, like bureaucrats, you may have corporates that enter. They may be for a longer period than 3 years, but that's a bigger problem because they will look at nothing but maximizing their profits. It's not, as I heard in the morning, that we use resources, you cannot use our resources. We use resources like birds on a tree. The tree doesn't die. Indigenous people, the way they use resources. But when a mechanized, organized, large multinational corporate comes they suck the mountains of all it has for 10 to 15 years, and then they throw it. The same use and throw culture that is invading our country coming from the West. So with this approach to Himalayas, we can't be arguing who is doing what, because all of us are going to die. Our civilization is going to die when all the glaciers are melted. There won't be anything that you will see except in monsoon. And what you will see in monsoon will not be water, it will be floods that will further kill you if you are not already dead with the drought of the springtime. So that's what will become if we meddle too much with the Himalayan ecology and the cultures and the rights of the people who have taken stewardship of these Himalayas for millennia and hopefully for millennia to come. So that's how I have always connected to the sixth schedule. Many people ask me, you are talking about climate change, climate path, ecology and environment, what does it have to do with sixth schedule? I'm sure our forefathers, when they instituted this provision in the Constitution of India, perhaps didn't think about ecology or climate change. They thought of the rights and the cultures. They were very generous for the times. Because they didn't have the problems that we have today, they didn't think of. But if you look at today, if you look at 2024 in the 21st century, what we used to back then call development, modernization, progress, is under a huge question mark, if not downright rejection. It's facing a kind of midlife crisis because what the West thought that they have found the way is actually ending the whole planet where we are supposed to live. Not exactly the planet will go on, but our life on the planet. Today, the air is not worthy of breathing, the water we have is not worthy for our children to drink, this land you couldn't hardly touch in urban areas, industrial areas, and the imminent crisis that climate change will usher us in is just unthinkable. What all will happen from here now as we pay the price of what we call development and progress in the past centuries. So therefore, today it's a very different world, and yet what our forefathers did 75 years ago, as Karbi Anglong celebrates, and I wanted to congratulate you all for that. What they did back then is a great solution to what we are facing today. While I was thinking of this and was expressing through my writings and speeches, I felt very happy 2 weeks ago to see that the world has acknowledged the same in a huge way, parallelly, nothing that I have contributed to that. Just to quote you here, 2 weeks ago, a very important COP summit ended. This is COP 16, a little different from the COP 29 that will happen. UN Conference of Parties meeting in Colombia on biodiversity. And the beautiful thing that I saw and felt happy and would like to share with you today, the main outcomes, the resolutions of that was what they called a benchmark for the world. The UN spokesperson says, this is an unprecedented occasion in history of multilateral environmental agreements. Okay, spokesperson says. Now what is it? I'll just say. agreement was reached after lengthy debates and discussions at the close of COP16, giving indigenous peoples, that is tribal peoples as we call it in India, their communities recognition as the protagonists of biodiversity and conservation, while also deciding to create a subsidiary body for them under the Article 8J of the Convention. So now the entire world is connecting safeguarding and protecting indigenous people to environment and climate change. Through this we can see, and yes, we should all celebrate this with a great applause for the world leaders who went and connected the two when I was being questioned, how do you connect 6th schedule with environment and climate change? So now you can take it as a common knowledge that we can start from and take advantage of this approach and argument when we have talks on further strengthening rather than diluting such provisions. For me, it's not just some groups in Northeast and Ladakh, because I come from there, that should get such decision-making autonomy for their own environment. I feel the entire world will take care of the planet only if each region has some autonomy, has some say in how their region and their ecology is managed. Even not just in Ladakh or Northeast, but I feel all the states should have more autonomy in keeping who they are, what they are, being diverse and distinct, and yet coming together to build a beautiful nation. Anekta mein ekta. So I always say, लद्दाख की लद्दाखियत के लिए तो हम 6th शेड्यूल बोल रहे हैं, मगर मैं तो चाहूंगा कि पंजाब की पंजाबियत रहे, बंगाल की बंगालियत रहे, कश्मीर की कश्मीरियत रहे, और फिर हिंदुस्तान एक खूबसूरत बगीचा बन के दुनिया के आगे चले। और ये मैं क्यों कह रहा हूं? जब हम छोटे छोटे बेनाम इकाई बन जाते हैं जिसमें खुद का कोई पहचान नहीं रह जाता है, तो हमारे अंदर की ऊर्जा, ताकत भी खत्म हो जाती है। हम उस शऊर से, उस जोश से हिस्सा नहीं लेते हैं हर चीज में, जैसा कि तब होता है जब हम अपने आप को अपना सकें। Ownership of ourselves. For example, how can India be great? I'm amazed that we are not able to realize the full potential of each region, each state of our nation. Do you know, Uttar Pradesh is as big as United States of America. If you are talking about, material development also, I'm not so much for that, but how we can be great nation with each region, each part, given its due respect and decision making. In India, West Bengal is bigger than Germany. Maharashtra is bigger than Japan. Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir is bigger than Israel. Punjab bigger than Australia. So you can imagine, even in the conventional sense, what a nation with so many nations equivalent can do, if they are made to feel the tigers they are, rather than part of a mix where they don't know who they are, where they're going. तो इसलिए मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि ऐसी ऑटोनॉमी कुछ हद तक, अच्छे हद तक हर जगह मिले, और खासकर हिमालय में तो ये एक लग्जरी नहीं है, ये नेसेसिटी है, और सिर्फ हिमालय में रहने वाले लोगों के लिए नहीं बल्कि पूरे उपमहाद्वीप में पानी का स्रोत ही यही है। तो ये मैं आप लोगों के सामने एक बात रखना चाहता था।
अब एनसीएल्स में भी गया था, 6 शेड्यूल का स्टडी के लिए आप आया एनसीएल्स। अभी हम लोग जानना चाहता हूँ आपसे, आप क्या फील किया? आप स्टडी भी किया है, हम लोग का जितना ऑफिसर्स है उन लोग का साथ भी बातचीत हुआ है, काउंसिल का साथ भी बातचीत हुआ है, कल भी हुआ है, परसों भी हुआ है, उसी के लिए हम
जी जी जी। तो सबसे पहले तो आप सबका धन्यवाद। मैं यहाँ कार्बी आंगलोंग में जो सेमिनार है 6वें शेड्यूल के 75वां साल, उसमें आया हूँ, और साथ ही में हमारी पहले से ही ये मंशा थी कि कार्बी आंगलोंग और दिमा हसाओ के जो ऑटोनमस काउंसिल्स हैं उनसे हम सीखें, क्योंकि यहाँ पर सबसे पहले भारत में इस 6वें शेड्यूल का अमल हुआ था। तो हम यहाँ के लीडर्स से मिले, दिमा हसाओ में भी, और एक तरफ हमें बहुत खुशी हुई कि जो अभी आप यहाँ का पर्यावरण, यहाँ की संस्कृति, यहाँ के लोगों के अधिकार बचा हुआ देख रहे हैं, वो काफी हद तक हमारे संविधान ने जो जेनरोसिटी दिखाई, दिलदारी दिखाई कि पूर्वोत्तर में जो जनजातीय समुदाय हैं उनकी विविधता को न सिर्फ सहा जाए बल्कि बढ़ाया जाए और सशक्त किया जाए, उसके नतीजे हैं। हालांकि आप लोगों को यहाँ पर हो सकता है लगता हो कि इसमें ये कमी है, वो कमी है, मगर भारत के संविधान में ऐसे प्रावधान का होना ही बहुत बड़ी बात है और हर चीज को बेहतर बनाया जा सकता है। तो हम आज ये भी सीख रहे थे कि क्या क्या चुनौतियां आती हैं और कैसे उन्हें सुलझाया जाए। मैं यही कहूँगा कि जो है उसका मूल्य समझना जरूरी है और उससे बेहतर बनाना।
तो सर, सर जो लॉन्ग मार्च करके आया था लास्ट मार्च में, राजघाट तक आया था आप, उसके बाद एक
मैं चाहूँगा आप
सर एक
पहले
आपका
यहाँ के बारे में बात
नहीं, जो 6 शेड्यूल का जो क्षमता है उसको बरकरार या बढ़ाने के लिए भारत सरकार कुछ खामियां है क्या उनका, जो उनका जो काम करने का जो सिस्टम है वो स्लो, आपका मुताबिक क्या है?
नहीं, मैं तो यहाँ सीखने आया हूँ। ज्यादातर चुनौतियां, खामियां यहाँ के जो नेता हैं, जो काउंसिल्स को चलाते हैं, उन्हें ज्यादा मालूम होगा। जैसे अभी बता रहे थे कि जो हम लॉज या कानून बनाते हैं उनको पास करने में क्या चुनौतियां आती हैं आगे, जब वो बिल्स आगे जाते हैं। तो ऐसे चीजों को जब दिलदारी से प्रावधान रखा तो उसको पूरी तरह से अमल में लाना भी जरूरी है। मुझे उम्मीद है ऐसे डिस्कशंस हो रहे होंगे। अभी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का 125वां अमेंडमेंट भी होने वाला है और मुझे उम्मीद है कि दोनों तरफ से बहुत ही क्या कहेंगे हम, भरोसे और दिलदारी से काम लेंगे।
25वीं शताब्दी में 6 शेड्यूल का आवश्यकता आपकी मुताबिक क्या है?
हाँ, तो 21वीं शताब्दी में 6 शेड्यूल और भी ज्यादा सांदर्भिक है, रेलेवेंट है। जब हमारे पूर्वजों ने संविधान बना रहे थे तब जब दिया, वो तो सांस्कृतिक और अधिकारों के, क्या कहेंगे, पॉलिटिकल राइट्स, उसके लिए था। आज हमारे पास बहुत बड़ा एक चुनौती आया है पर्यावरण का, क्लाइमेट चेंज का, जलवायु परिवर्तन का। तो ऐसे में जो जनजातीय लोग हैं वो सबसे बेहतर रखवाले बन सकते हैं पर्यावरण का, अपने जंगलों का, अपने नदियों का। कोई और आके 2-3 साल रह के कोई बड़े से बड़े अफसर हो, वो इसकी रखवाली नहीं कर पाएंगे। कोई कंपनी हो, वो तो रखवाली नहीं, वो तो फायदा देखेंगे। तो ये मैं हमेशा कहता आया हूं कि जो जनजाति लोग हैं वो हजारों सालों से रहते आए हैं और हजारों साल रहेंगे, तो उनका एक निवेश है, इन्वेस्टेड हैं वो, कि वो रखवाली करें। तो सरकार की ये बहुत समझदारी है कि उनको सुपुर्द करें इस स्थानीय परिवेश को देखभाल करने के लिए।
Pardon, sir, welcome to Karbi Anglong.
Thank you.
My first question to you is, this national seminar. What is the importance of this national seminar being held today here in Diffu, Karbi Anglong, like after the completion of 75 years of this sixth schedule?
Yeah, first of all, I'm really grateful to Autonomous Council of Karbi Anglong and the Center for Karbi Studies and the Assam University for holding such a platform where people from all over Northeast and people like us, students of this provision of sixth schedule, could come and learn from them. And even otherwise, I think it's a very good idea to keep meeting, networking, exchanging ideas and solutions, because I see people have come from many states in the Northeast who have sixth schedule, and it's a very good opportunity on the 75th anniversary to discuss how to make it better. There are challenges, but there are solutions also. So maybe people have experiences of how they dealt with certain challenges, and these need to be shared, and at the same time, voices should merge to become bigger voices when you are advocating with the government for further improvement of it, for example, in the next amendment of the constitution.
Definitely, sir. And one more question to go. Like in news, we have seen you you and the people of Ladakh are protesting for the implementation of sixth schedule in your area. So, as you have already got the union territory, why are you again demanding the implementation of sixth schedule?
Okay. First of all, I wouldn't call it protesting. I would call it appealing to the
Okay.
government,
Yes,
because
indeed,
we
indeed.
don't believe in conflicts. We
Yes,
believe
sir.
in solutions. So we are appealing that just as the union territory was formed, so should there be safeguards to our land, environment, cultures, and so on. And sixth schedule is just about that. Now, sixth schedule, most of the places have more than 50% indigenous tribal people. Ladakh has 95% indigenous tribal people. So it is a no-brainer. You could say whether it is can be extended outside of Northeast, but then the current government and the ruling party gave us written promises in 2019, 2020 that Ladakh will be included under sixth schedule. So that question is also moot. So therefore, we very much hope that government will take notice and do the needful.
Definitely.